Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Several months ago, fans were shocked by the appearance of a leak about a character that will be released known as Scrollum, a mechanical man who kept appearing at the beginning of the story. Several hints in this game also say that this character will become a playable character in the future, such as his light gun, his story, and even always appears in the simulated universe along with his best partner, Hera. So when do you think he will be released in the game? Is he a useful character? Let's do this. Honkai Star Rail's Scrollum is quite obviously, when you look at him, a mechanical man. He's known as Mechanical Aristocrat Scrollum I and is the 76th member of the Genius Society, where he works with Honkai Star Rail's Hera. Oh, he's also the ruler of his own planet, Planet Scrollum. That is where he lives. Perhaps one day the External Express crew will take a trip here too. As a member of the Genius Society, Scrollum worked alongside Hera and Ranmei in creating the Honkai Star Rail simulated universe. He wrote the algorithm that it runs on and earned a place for his portrait in Hera's office. Speaking of in-game appearances, when sending characters on assignment to retrieve ancient parts, you may notice that the assignment is set by Scrollum. Scrollum's good deeds spread across the galaxy. He led a resistance against a fellow Genius Society member, Rubert, after Rubert sought to end organic life with a war. Scrollum won and made peace with mechanical life forms, even after Rubert's heinous actions. Scrollum's hacking skills are commendable, and he's on par with Silver Wolf, who he's had runs in with before. Silver Wolf at one point cracked his code, proving herself to be almost as skilled. Scrollum did easily wrestle control back from her though. So, is he a playable character? First is yet to confirm if Scrollum is a playable character, but my senses tell us that a character with such extravagant and noticeable design will be playable in the future. Let's hope it's not too far off, unlike Genshin Impact's Baizu, who made us wait for 2 years. Scrollum also appears on Honkai Star Rail's Lightcon's design in-game already, called We Will Meet Again. This also hints that he will be playable in the future. Good news though, we officially met Scrollum in Honkai Star Rail's 1.1 update, and now he hangs out in Simulated Universe. For now, to be honest, I don't have any confirmation on Scrollum's path, type, or even his rarity. But the game's main story has confirmed that Scrollum was appointed by the Aeon of Erudition. So it's high possibility that he will following the path of erudition. Some leakers say that he also will has an imaginary type and will likely have a 5-star rarity. Okay, let's stop beating around the bush and let's talk about his kit. First is his basic attack. As usual, his basic attack will deal some imaginary damage and equal to 130% of his attack to a single enemy. No any additional buff or debuff, just normal basic attack. Okay, next into his skill. For me personally, this skill is quite simple. Nothing new and nothing special. He just deals imaginary damage equal to 200% of Scrollum's attack to a target enemy and imaginary damage equal to 80% of Scrollum's attack to enemies adjacent to it. I don't know why Hoyo team didn't put any additional effect on his skill. He should have something better, right? Now let's talk about his ultimate. Scrollum's ultimate will has a 100 base chance to reduce the imaginary resistance by 20% and deals imaginary damage equal to 200% of Scrollum's attack to all enemies. Like his skill, his ultimate is also quite simple, but this one somehow reminds me of what Welt does. He doing some damage and debuff to all enemies, although the kind of debuff is quite different. Now we are coming to his talent. Since his talent is quite tricky, please pay attention to me, okay? First of all, every single time your allies inflicts a debuff on the enemies, they are marked with diffusion mark. And when Scrollum using his skill or his ultimate, the diffusion mark will consume and he will do a follow-up attack to deal imaginary damage equal to 25% of Scrollum's attack to adjacent targets. During the follow-up attack, Diffusion Mark cannot be applied to the enemy target. So I think his talent is quite clear that he will become the one of the best character in Pure Fiction, since he will do lots of follow-up attack if you pair him with Annihilative Path. For me personally, his talent is quite good. Now let's move on into his technique. After using his technique, Skrulum will attack the enemy. And after entering battle, he will deal imaginary damage equal to 50% of Skrulum's attack to all enemies. And applies one layer of the Diffusion Mark to all enemies. Honestly, his technique is quite good. After using his technique, you can do a follow-up attack to all enemies with your skill or your ultimate. I think this is quite good for Pure Fiction. Finally, we arrived at his traces. In his first trace, when he is using his skill, the enemy target is marked with one layer of the Diffusion Mark. Okay, his first trace is quite good, but one big question is, since his skill is an AoE attack, is it Diffusion Mark will apply to all targets or is it just the main one? Let's wait for more info. Next is his second trace, which will regenerate 15 energy upon entering battle. I think this one is also quite nice. I know it is just a one-time passive in battle, but I think it's okay. And next is his third trace. This one is also good. Every time he is doing his follow-up attack from his talents, Skrulum's next action will be advanced forward by 5%. This one is pretty good, especially when he is doing lot of follow-up attacks. So after we talk everything about this kit, let's conclude what is good and bad about this character. First, I think he's best to pair with Annihilative unit, or at least unit can do a debuff. I think lots of debuff. He is best to put in Pure Fiction as a DPS. More diffusion attack triggered by the talent, his turn comes faster. And lastly, he doesn't need specific stats to work, so he is good for a new player. But he also has some cons. He can't act as a hyper carry in the team because he needs to be paired with another Annihilative type to maximize his kit. Okay guys, that's everything about Skrulum. And what do you think? Do you wanna pull him later? Please leave your comment in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to check out my another guide video. Thank you for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you next video.